No, you stay down. Here. What's yours?
Jimmy Petronis, a well-liked CFO, a Republican, won by 13, I think 13, 14 points or 18. Anyway, the margin was cut by about 18, 19 points.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but anyway, won a county that Democrats have not won since 1992.
Yes. Right.
2 years before I got up there.
Yeah, I was going to say, Joe, you're being very modest because you obviously know more about that seat than about anybody in America, having served there for all those years on the Panhandle. But most Americans identify Pensacola with obviously the Navy and Navy aviators, and that gets to, I think, the heart of the issue here, Joe, is that you've got folks who work in or are connected to the federal government. Because of that, and who I think see what Musk and Trump are doing to the federal government, a lot of them veterans who have connections to the VA or DOD, and they don't like it. And there's one other point, Joe, I think is really important too. And you can look at both districts in Florida, both the Panhandle and also the Daytona anchored one. Anywhere you can find folks with college degrees, they're going to participate in these off-year elections or special elections. And whether it's the folks who have moved to 30A, who used to be sort of seasonal residents, are now full-time residents there on the Gulf Coast, who have college degrees and they moved over from Birmingham or Atlanta or New Orleans, or the people, yes, over on the Atlantic coast, places like St. Augustine and South, who are retirees, folks of some means. Guess what? They're going to show up in a special election in April of 2017 because they're highly engaged voters, and Democrats are always going to perform well with those kind of voters.
And John Howman, just to put a fine point on this, when you look at the splits in Florida, one is cut by about half. You had Gates won that back in November by 32 points, now about a 15, 16-point race. And in Florida 6, Randy Fine, the state senator, won last night. Same margin, 14, 15 points. Tim Walz, now the national security advisor, won in November by 33 points. Michael Walz, excuse me. So let's talk about big picture here. Not giddiness in the Democratic Party. This is one night in April in an off-year election, but perhaps for a party that was so demoralized by the outcome on November 5th, the first glimmer of hope.
Well, right, really, and not even the first glimmer. I mean, we've had a couple like kind of evanescent glimmers already. You got the Iowa special election, we had the one in Pennsylvania last week. So it's not, these are all small bore races. You're right. You can overinterpret these things, but I think you got to do pattern recognition here. And that's what we've seen in the past is that when you have a party in these off-year elections that goes on a run, they start small, and then all of a sudden you look up and they've won the Virginia governor's race, they've won the New Jersey governor's race, and all of a sudden you say, wow, the out-of-power party just swept the off-year elections. That tends historically to suggest something about what's going to happen in the midterms. I will say, Joe and I were texting about this last night when you rattle off those Florida numbers, Willie. In both those cases, they both end up basically being about a swing of about 15 points or something, right? And I saw Hakeem Jeffries provided a statistic last night that I thought was totally fascinating, which was he named the number of districts in which Donald Trump had won by 15 points or less, where there were Republican members in those districts, and that number is 55. 55 is a large number. Now the midterms are still a long way away, but those are 55 members who are looking at those Florida numbers. Not to mention the Michigan, not to mention the other. Not to mention the other race we were just talking about, the Wisconsin race. The Wisconsin race, my mom was from Michigan, my dad's from Wisconsin, I always get them confused. Yeah. Those results from last night, those are the 55 House members who are nervous today. A little bit nervous. Elon, Trump, none of this is, those kind of shrinking margins just start to make people nervous. And I bet there are a lot of nervous Republicans right now.
Yeah, I mean for good reason, Chris Matthews, because again, in politics, again, it gets boiled down really quickly to that 30-second ad, that viral TikTok moment,
you stay back.
that viral YouTube short, where we're going to see it. Elon Musk
What
with
are
a
you looking at?
chainsaw calling Social Security a Ponzi scheme, firing veterans, endangering farmers' future. You just go down the list of all the things he's done.
Get back.
And
Sit.
man, it is something that I have no doubt these Republicans in swing races understand now they're in for a real fight next year.
And you know who knows that? Donald Trump. Stefanik. Pulled her back from the UN.
Exactly.
A celebrity, a wonderful job, a wonderful position. Who doesn't want to be UN ambassador? It's an amazing job.
Well, she was about to go there. She was having
And he
going
yanked
away
her back
parties
and said, go back and run in your old district because I need the vote. I need one vote.
Well, and what he said was also, he said, if you run, I know you can win. I don't know if other people run, whether they'll win this race or not, which tells you again, like you said, he knows that these swing seats are in danger.
In New York and California, too. They're going to have to make. He's fighting this fight retail. He's going to try to hold on to seat by seat because he knows if he loses the House next November, he's a loser.
All right, Chris Matthews, John Hellman, J. Mart, thank you very much for being
Bring
on.
the cheese head next time, baby.
No, it's okay. Coming up, Democratic Congresswoman Brittany Peterson of Colorado will join us to discuss her bipartisan effort to allow proxy voting for lawmakers who are new parents and how it brought the House to a screeching halt. We'll explain it all next on Morning Joe.
Consumer Cellular is lowering the price for those 50 and up. Get 2 unlimited lines for $30 each. That's just $60 a month. So switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage satisfaction. Now new customers get your second month free when you switch.
Now for something you can both agree on. A Sleep Number smart bed is perfect for couples. The Climate 360 smart bed is the only bed that cools and warms on each side. And all our smart beds adjust the firmness for each of you. Let's agree to
You gotta stay in your seat, baby.
better sleep.
patients who have sensitive teeth but also want whiter teeth, they have to make a choice, one versus the other. Sensodyne Clinical White provides 2 shades whiter teeth as well as providing 24/7 sensitivity protection. Patients are going to love to see Sensodyne on the shelf.
So which would you recommend?
Do you like brown?
Yeah, some things are just better at home. With Empire's Home Floor Advantage, you can compare samples in your own space.
Call or visit EmpireToday.com and get the home floor advantage.
Consumer Cellular, ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction.
Hi, my friend Linda has you guys and gets way better coverage than I do.
Sounds like Linda has a beat.
Only in coverage.
And plans start at $20.
Okay, press 2.
Get your second month free when you switch to Consumer Cellular.
You've got a subscription to streaming movies and music, maybe even one for food. But what about when it's your water line that's streaming? Repairs are expensive. Good contractors are hard to find. Plan from HomeServe is like a subscription for peace of mind. One small monthly fee, when a covered system breaks, we'll send a qualified contractor who will pay for the repair. Why worry? Get HomeServe in the ship.
Plans from HomeServe start at just $4.99 a month.
Call 1-833-735-4495 or visit homeserve.com.
I was never able to find a bra that fit my small chest. Every bra gave me gaps, so I designed a bra that finally fits double A to B cups per. No more cup gaps or looking 2 sizes bigger. Meet Pepper. Find your perfect fit at wearpepper.com.
After Homoglow Cleaner pays for $19, we fired on a housekeeper. Homoglow tackles everything from our kitchen to our bathroom, all our laundry. You just pick a date, pick a cleaner, and enjoy a spotless house for $19.
Speaker is charged with protecting the integrity of the institution, and that's what this was about. We made that very clear. 96% of Republicans understand that, and a few people join the Democrats. People have emotional reasons for doing what they're doing, but we're going to keep governing. This is a small, razor-thin majority, and we have to build consensus on everything, and I wish they'd not taken this course.
All right, that was House Speaker Mike Johnson, who, according to our next guest, has voted remotely 39 times after he tried and failed to block a bipartisan push to change House rules and allow lawmakers who become new parents to vote by proxy. Johnson tried to prevent the House from even considering the measure by designing a special rule to prevent a vote, but 9 Republicans sided with House Democrats to halt his effort. After that, Johnson canceled votes for the rest of the week, leaving the fate of that measure unclear. Joining us now, Democratic Congresswoman Brittany Peterson of Colorado. She was one of the lawmakers who introduced that bipartisan resolution on proxy voting earlier this year before giving birth to her second child, Sam, I believe, who you are holding.
Yes.
He's 9
This is
weeks.
Sam.
How old is Sam?
Yeah, he's 9 weeks old. This is his 3rd trip to
He's a big
DC.
one.
So
It's beautiful. So tell us about what it is that you're fighting for here and what your message is for Speaker Johnson.
Well, we worked in a bipartisan way to bring a resolution. When I listened to Speaker Johnson talk about how it was 96% of Republicans oppose this, that's actually not the case. They didn't stand together on this because they were being threatened. It was going against a rule from the majority. But an overwhelming amount of my colleagues across the aisle also support our efforts to make sure that new parents are able to vote remotely with this narrow circumstance where you have a life event where you give birth or are welcoming a new child as a dad, and you have to be there for that critical time where your kid is the most vulnerable. You know, I recently gave birth to Sam, and I was infuriated. You know, before giving birth, closer to my due date, I was unable to fly to Washington to vote. They were unwilling to bring this resolution to the floor. So I was prevented from doing my job, even before giving birth. But then when you give birth, you're unable to, you're healing, you're taking care of your newborn. It's a 24/7 job. It's unacceptable that we haven't evolved with the times. So we're forcing Congress into the 21st century.
Congresswoman, I love the fact that you have Sam with you, reminding us all that, yes, members of Congress do have babies, men and women alike. I was glad to see that there were a bunch of men on the Republican side who joined this effort. I know some of them are new parents too, so they understand it. What do you think's really going on here from the Republican leadership? I mean, Speaker Johnson has framed this in terms of protecting the rules of the House. We know that he has voted remotely himself. All members did, of course, during COVID. it just feels so antiquated. It feels like a way that when they use phrases like this, there could be an abuse of the practice, or this could be a slippery slope. It's the kind of language women have heard for decades about asking for a tiny bit of relief when it comes to managing their careers with their children. Are they just trying to stop the voices of young mothers being heard in the House?
Well, it absolutely feels that way. The fact that they're unwilling to take into account these narrow circumstances. I mean, these are rules that we all get to debate and vote on. And so this isn't something that is going to inevitably lead to additional proxy voting. That's something that we get to discuss as a body and that we should discuss as a body. These are limited circumstances. It's unacceptable that he's willing to make this place more accessible for young women, for families. You know, this place was not made for us. And we can't continue to do things the way that we did hundreds of years ago.
So where does this go next?
So unfortunately, they canceled votes, which I was standing by for the rest of the week. So next week, we're going to have to, again, bring this up on Monday, given notice. Then they'll have 2 legislative days to bring it up. He's going to continue to pull out all the stops. And it's incredibly frustrating that the lengths that they're going to kill this, like you already discussed, Speaker Johnson has voted for using proxy 39 times. I agree with him that we need to be here in person. That is an important piece of being in Congress, building relationships, especially when you're trying to build relationships across the aisle. But we need to take into account these medical reasons that you are unable to be here physically, and that constituents deserve to still have a voice here in Washington.
Democratic Congresswoman Brittany Pedersen of Colorado, thank you so much to you and Sam for being on the show this morning. We'll be following this. We appreciate it. Coming up, we're going to check in with CNBC as the president's trade war expands significantly. Andrew Ross Sorkin joins us here on set. Plus, the first major candidate to launch a bid for retiring Democrat Gary Peters' U.S. Senate seat in Michigan jumps into the race with a call for change in the party. We'll show you those remarks next on Morning Joe.
Krista, it's time to fess up. About? You're over 45 and still haven't screened for colon cancer. We all knew. This is like the 3rd year she's turned 44.
Okay. I wasn't ready. Let's drink all that prep? Cancel brunch plans? Damn it.
Ask for Cologuard. It's a one-of-a-kind way to screen for colon cancer that's effective and non-invasive.
No prep, and you use it at home.
False positive and negative results may occur. Those at high risk should use colonoscopy.
Skip the drama. Ask your provider or request Cologuard online.
Doctors recommend Colase stool softener for gentle, dependable relief from constipation. It's so gentle, doctors even recommend it during pregnancy and after surgery. Colase increases water in the stool, making it softer so it's easier to go. No harsh laxatives, cramping, or straining. Colase.
Doug.
You'll be back! Emus can't help people customize and save hundreds on car insurance with Liberty Mutual! You're just a flightless bird!
No, he's a dreamer, Frank.
Doug.
Well, I'll be. That bird really did it. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Let's start the bidding at $5 million.
Robinhood Gold members get a 3% IRA match. Where the wealthy hoard their perks, our retirement contributions are boosted by 3%. Now with Robinhood Gold.
This is Kathy. She's about to see her dentist. She's afraid. Not because of the drill, but because of the bill. A big bill. But Kathy doesn't need to be afraid, and neither do you. Thanks to affordable dental insurance from Physicians Mutual Insurance Company. It's easy to get this coverage. Don't believe me? Go online for all the details. You can even have this free information kit. This isn't a discount plan or preventive-only coverage. This is real dental insurance. It helps pay for over 400 procedures. That's a lot. I'm talking cleanings, fillings, crowns, bridges, root canals, even dentures. Bottom line, you'll have help paying for routine care and expensive major work. But if you want deductibles, forget it. There aren't any. No annual maximum either. Plus, you can see any dentist you want. Stop fearing the big bill. Start saving at the dentist. Call now or go to sendinfokit.com.
Physicians Mutual, Physicians Mutual.
Menopause really impacted my hair.
I experienced postpartum shedding, and Nutrafol had a formula for that.
My hair has changed throughout my life, so I'm grateful Nutrafol has a product targeted for whatever I'm going through.
Even with my mom's Alzheimer's, we've still been close. But when she developed agitation that may happen with dementia due to Alzheimer's disease, a distance came between us. She'd get upset when I try to help, began wandering, even started swearing. She got agitated often, so we talked to her doctor.
Rexulti is the only FDA-approved medication proven to reduce agitation symptoms that may happen with dementia due to Alzheimer's disease. Elderly people with dementia-related psychosis have increased risk of death or stroke, report fever, stiff muscles, and confusion, which can be life-threatening, or uncontrolled muscle movements, which may be permanent. High blood sugar can lead to coma or death, weight gain, increased cholesterol, unusual urges, dizziness on standing, falls, seizures, trouble swallowing, or sleepiness may occur.
Rexulti helped reduce my mom's symptoms.
Take action for your loved one. Talk to their doctor today about Rexulti.
Jorge has always put the ones he loves first. But when it comes to caring for his teeth, he's let his own maintenance take a back seat. Well, maybe it's time to shift gears on that. Aspen Dental has complete, affordable care all under one roof. Plus, free exams and x-rays for new patients without insurance.
Hey y'all, well Trump has been ruminating on the possibility of a third term lately. Well, I mean, Trump probably thinks ruminating is something you do to chicken before grilling it, but you know, he's been running his dumb mouth about it. And Donald Trump even hinting at the idea of a third term is very upsetting, because we're not even 100 days into his second term, and it already feels like 100 years worth of damage has been done. Like, if you told me back in December about all the stuff that has happened so far, I would have said, man, that's a lot for 4 years, but at least the country survived it. And when you then said 4 years, that's just Q1 2025, my body would have malfunctioned by trying to scream, laugh, cry, shit, cuss, and faint all at the same time. All right, it's absolutely insane. I mean, I don't know how we're even going to make it through the basically 4 years we still have left on this term, and the prospect of an illegal third term after that. Y'all just have to start talking about me the way they talk about Neville's mama and daddy and Harry Potter, because I don't think my sanity could withstand it, y'all. Some people think maybe that's why he's talking about it in the first place, right? Because we all know that, like, cruelty and racism and willful ignorance notwithstanding, the thing that truly sustains MAGA is owning the libs, right? Their squelching, blackened heart runs on an arc reactor powered by the shattered dreams of people who want things to be good in the world. And few things own us libs quite like shredding the Constitution and threatening autocracy. We're just quirky like that. So maybe that's why he's saying it, to annoy us. Or some people think maybe he's saying it as a distraction from all the first ballot Hall of Fame incompetent ass hattery going on in his administration right now. I mean, he does like to do that, right? Distract from insanity with even more insanity. You ask him, it's like, sir, is it true you've got ICE illegally detaining college students who protest? And he's like, we're going to send all the Mexicans to the moon. And it's just so insane you can't help but move on. So maybe that's what he's doing here. Or maybe he's saying this because, to paraphrase renowned warrior philosopher Marshawn Lynch, his sorry ass says a lot of dumb shit. Who's to say, all right? But what it can't be, though, is an actual plan of action. I mean, right? Because, I mean, when Trump says there are ways to go about this, there's really only one way. Ignore the Constitution and do a big old treason. Well, sure, those are two of his favorite pastimes, I know, but still, states run their own elections, and all the blue ones, at least, are pretty gay for democracy. Right? Lately, judges around this country have been proving they still care about the law by injuncting Trump's ass left and right. And even with all the bullshit we put up with so far, you have to think that something like this would make people take to the streets and go all French on their asses, right? I mean, we've been practicing on Tesla dealerships lately anyway. People will fight this. Not to mention the fact that Trump is old, fat, dumb, loves cheeseburgers, and genuinely believes that exercise runs your heart's battery down. Like, we all know that the worst people in life live the longest, but still, the clock has got to be ticking on on this dude, and 2028 is unfortunately a long ways off, right? So I say we just buckle down, weather the more immediate stupidity storms, and cross this particular blasphemous bridge when we get to it. All right, and but maybe in the meantime, you know, somebody start building a guillotine or something, you know, just in case. You know, as with most stories today, the way people feel about this really might just come down to where they read about it. Let me show you what I mean. Right, y'all, we're here on Ground News' website looking at the coverage of Trump saying he's considering ways to serve a third term as president. Tons of sources over here in the coverage breakdown, 559, most of which are in the center, pretty evenly distributed, left and right. And if you use Ground News to sort by bias, we look at what the left-leaning outlets are saying, mostly just them quoting him. Trump says he's, quote, not joking about it. Trump says he's looking for ways to serve. Trump says there are methods for seeking a third term. A little editorializing here. Trump rants about his record approval ratings, parentheses. They're not joking about the third term. So you can see that people on the left are making sure to point out that it's not going as well as he's acting like it is. But if you look on the right instead, it's framed a little differently. Trump says he's serious about this, quote, sort of a fourth term. Hey, if three's great, four's even better. A constitutional loophole allows Trump to remain in power until 2037. What? But it's okay, because as you can see on Ground News, look, mixed factuality rating for this source. That's what's great about Ground News. Before you ever click an article, you can see the bias of the outlet, the factuality rating, and even the ownership group, where the money comes from, just extra layers of context. That's why I love Ground News. I've been working with them for more than a year now. And you can follow along at ground.news/Trey, or you can scan that QR code there for more. But they got a lot of great features, not just this. One of my favorites, the blind spot feature. This shows stories that are not being covered on either side of the political spectrum right now, so you can see what's going on down there at the other end of things. Allows you to step outside of your bubble for a minute and see what they're talking about on the other side. I think we could all stand to do a little more of. So if that sounds good to you, you can scan that QR code or click the link in the description below to try Ground News today. You can get 40% off their highest tier Advantage plan. That's $5 a month. It ain't nothing. Or you can check out the app or website for free. That's right. It's time. Push back on the bias and BS. Try Ground News today. All right, YouTube, and we're back. Feels like an appropriate day for it, doesn't it, to talk about the idea of a third term for Trump. April Fool's Day is when I'm recording this and putting it out. Just feels right, because I feel like it feels right because, you know, the entire Trump era has felt like one big cosmic April Fool's prank played by the universe on anyone with a surplus of either common sense or empathy. You know what I mean? It's just like, it just serves just to piss people off with unnecessary bullshit for no grander reason other than that the prankster gets off on lying to those he cares about. You know, that type of April Fool's thing. Except with an April Fool's joke, at least there comes a time where the prankster gives it up, lifts the veil, says, April Fool's, gotcha. I'm not really dying of cancer. No, it's just a joke. You know, joke, like all the best jokes involve lying to your loved ones about having cancer, or being pregnant, or that type of thing. Oh man, you should have seen your face. It was great. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of April Fool's, but I'm just saying, at least with an April Fool's joke, it eventually ends. All right, with the Trump era, it's just, you know, every day is a celebration of foolery, and there's no end in sight. I thought about doing an April Fool's thing for this part of the YouTube part, or actually for the whole thing today. I thought about doing an April Fool's joke, or a video where I either like pretended to be on board with a third Trump term, or to do my heel turn, you know, getting on the right-wing drift, just shifting. It's like, oh, guess what, libs, I've been fooling you the whole time, that type of thing. But I just knew that the internet is too dumb, and not to say nothing of this holiday, that was a very silly thing to have risked. You imagine if I had done that, so many people would have turned it off in general upset and started crafting very, very hotly worded comments to me, or DMs to send me and let me know exactly just how much I had devastated them. Even, you know, without even getting to the part of the video where I said it was just a prank, bro. I don't know how these prank bros do it. I feel even thinking about kidding with y'all about being that way upsets me deeply in my core at myself, right? I can't imagine, like, pushing an old man into a bunch of milk boxes at the grocery store and they just be like, it's just a prank, bro. I'm kind of starting to think we should just move past pranks as a society. People are too tense. Things are too high stakes. Everybody's wound way too tight. Like, I can't believe that more people ain't been blown away in parking garages, you know, trying to pretend to be clowns and shit on April Fool's days, or just for YouTube prank channels already in this country. We just don't. I think it's time we move. Pranks were fine, you know, when the world was a more whimsical place. But now that everything is an exercise in absurdity that can actually be dangerous and life-ruining, maybe we should just not do pranks anymore. But that's just me, you know. I mean, like, look, whoopee cushion, that's fine. Fart machine, liquid ass, anything butt related is fine if you want to do those types of pranks. But, you know, just lying to people about things that upset them, yeah, I don't know if we should do that anymore. All right, but thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. We'll put this up here. My new special, Trash Daddy, is out now, so please watch it. People have been watching it. People have been liking it. It's fun. Also, you can subscribe to the channel, get all these videos and stand-up clips and podcasts and other things. And then, importantly to me, TreyCrowder.com. That's where my tour dates are. I'm a stand-up comedian. Check them out. If I'm coming near you, come see me. Completely different material than this special. Completely different. But if you like these videos, you'll like that. It's a fun time. I hope you'll consider it either way. You keep watching these silly things, and I'll keep pumping them out. I appreciate it. Love you like chicken. See you back.
We got a great show for you tonight, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to be most pleased with this one. Our guest tonight, economist Orrin Cass, is going to be here later to discuss tariffs. You're going to have a conservative economist bucking laissez-faire. Just watch it. But first, we're going to check in with our good friend, democracy. Going to give him the old turn your head and cough. How's democracy doing?
In some of his strongest comments yet, President Trump says he's considering his options to serve a third term in office, a breach of the Constitution's two-term limit for president.
I'm sorry, considering the option? God, what are you trying to order off menu from the Constitution? Oh yeah, I see you got, what do you got, 2 terms here. But can I get it animal style? A third term? How does that work exactly?
In a phone call with NBC, Trump saying, quote, there are methods which you could do it, including possibly urging his vice president, J.D. Vance, to run and then cede power back to Trump. The president saying that's one method, but that there are others too.
Yes. There are other methods. You tried one a few years ago. There are other methods for staying in power beyond when you are legally allowed to be there. Historically, some of them involve catapults. Although maybe Trump has something more creative in mind with the Vance thing. Have you guys heard of the movie Face Off? Yeah, so here's how it's going to work. Trump will watch that movie as the military seizes power. Like, what the f***? I'm sure at which point Chuck Schumer will say, I will allow it because in the third term.
Hey guys.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Morning, Russ. I believe this is going to be the folks you got that's going to be joining.
Yeah, I haven't seen you. Good morning, guys.
Morning, V. I guess Hoppus on my end, it's just related to the DPPNR updated test reports. and the P99 and C90 information. We're still looking for that.
Okay.
And I know we had discussed it some, but I just want to just kind of bring it to this meeting again. Is the deviation that we're looking for doing the perm testing for the individual? Yeah. Now we have to, again, we want to get together to talk through exactly what that's going to be. Even though, you know, we're just going to be, it's kind of titled as a deviation to run just a single pipe assembly in the shed, but it's not more that it's the we got to get the wording right for that deviation to be set up correctly. Okay, and then we, you know, it's got to be at least a minimum of 5 samples.
Minimum 5 samples.
Do you guys have
in the DV testing?
Recommended wording for that you've been discussing that'll, you know, meet the requirements?
Yeah, that's what we're looking for to have, Russ. That's correct.
So we have to write it right in there. If the current PV requirement is 15 samples individually, Stellantis will allow 5 samples due to substantial data at the DV level showing that we met the requirements. Something like that.
Yeah, but that's information we have to get together and review with Mike and Fernando.
So that's true, but right now we're on hold, so we don't even know, and we don't really have a signed or an updated PV plan on what we're going to do. Typically, when you're done with all the DV testing, then you have a meeting to go over the PV plan and come up with an agreement.
Mm-hmm. And that's why we got to get the DV reports now, get that complete so we can review it. Then as a team come together, and if we're going to agree or disagree with some of the
Hey Craig,
documents.
last time in the meeting we discussed that in this meeting, like right now, we can review the DVPR and you were going to bring in Mike and Charlie. I don't know how you want to go. Like for fuel tank, I just sent out the reports and they reviewed internally and provided feedback. Are you gonna do it like that?
Or? It can be like that, but we haven't received it yet. So that's why I was going to use this meeting. If we had received it by now, we could have went through it in this meeting, since we have it scheduled.
I have the reports. I just wanted to clarify a few things before I send it to you. I have like 99% reports complete. I was just working on a few things, but we'll send it out today.
Okay, and revise the dates in there too, as well, start and complete date. So again, we'll have the complete document, then our team can review it.
Okay.
Okay. This is one question, and I know William is going to be interested in it as well. Our SQE now for the gate 1 for the APQP gate 1 and 2. You've been working with Shirley, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Has this been indicated that it's switched to another SQE?
No, I don't know.
Okay, because that's interesting. Yeah, go ahead, William.
Yeah. I'm talking with Shirley and also with Mike Lee yesterday, and Mike also told me that he do not own the filler pipe. So I just sent a message to the supervisor, quality supervisor, Joe Salvia, to get the information who will lead or who owns the filler pipe from his team. Okay, and as soon as I get it, I'm gonna share with you, Craig.
Okay. Yeah, because we want to get whoever that may be, that information that's already been provided, or what we went through for the gate 1 and 2, because we're now currently in gate 3.
Yeah.
Okay. And then for that's pretty much all I now Hafiz, I did send you going to a different topic related to the drawings, how we're working to get the sequence of our PCLs in line in our system, basically our revision levels.
Okay.
We have to have because we initially released it, and then we had the one change of going to the VPS, the different vapor pressure sensor.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got the current ECR CN that we have now, where we're adjusting the weld clips IDs, the location of the label scribes on the pipe, as well as the using the ITI QC. So we need to go. It'll be A, B, and C, but we need to get that released in our system like that, because right now we just have it released. Your math, your drawing in our system, but it's not matching what we have in our Stellantis E-bomb system as it relates to PCLs.
Okay, we can discuss this with Daniel once he comes back.
Yeah, when he comes back. Okay, I just wanted to give you a little heads up.
Okay.
Yeah, and since we have the one CN in moving along, then this allows us to catch it up, so everything will be in line.
Okay. And one more thing, how do I share the files with you, reports and everything? Is it large files?
Do you have access to FileBox?
Not yet. That's what I was thinking. Is there anybody who can help me? Because the password I had last year is not working anymore, and if I try to reset it, it doesn't send me anything.
Okay.
Maybe it's going to some administrator. Or last time Rodrigo helped me with the file box.
So let me reach out to him, and see if he can help. But I believe.
Are you guys able to use Google Drive? I've sent things that way to Stellantis, and I've got an account that I could help you do that, Hafiz.
Is it a work account?
Yeah. Yeah, I have a special YAP Droid email account that I had set up for doing things like that.
Okay. Now, would I have access to that, Russell, or?
Yeah, it's something that I can give access to. Like it's just a standard Google Drive.
Okay.
It's what Stellantis used to use, like I think a year-ish ago, prior to FileBox.
Okay. Because on that note, though, Hafiz, I believe Daniel. I think it was Daniel had sent us something, but he used Simplicity.
Yeah.
And that link that he had, I was able to get into it, so I'm not sure, because I thought the Simplicity had went away. But it seemed to work for wherever that file was.
Yeah, I was using FileBox, Daniel using Simplicity. I will try reaching out Rodrigo first and see if that works.
How did it the tank? How did we get all the tank reports to them? Those are just as big, right?
Yeah, Daniel sent it for me.
Oh, okay.
And more likely, I think he probably sent it through Simplicity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. For me, that's all I have as it relates to the filler pipe.
Okay. It's just mostly the DV test reports. So
we need to
open issue.
We can try to get that as soon as we can. Then that way I can get with the team, and maybe it'll be just a response back through email, or they may want me to call a meeting together and for us to go through it.
And who's going to be the DRE for the all-wheel drive filler pipe?
That's what I was going to ask. The question for Zine. It's a go-fast program, and we're going to need some conductivity there, because we're going to have to do testing and fits and all that. This probably hasn't been.
It's going to be new pipe, yeah.
Well, I don't know how the source is. It's not going to be all new. They said the head shell and the top pieces might be the same, but it might be a longer length.
Yeah, routing is going to be different.
We have to wait for hope on that in Stellantis, right? For the sourcing and all that. I don't know what they're doing. Just let us know, Zine, or anybody that knows Like if it's gonna be Craig or someone new, or
Well, hopefully it's Craig. I don't know it yet.
yeah, it would make the most.
The bidding takes place now, guys.
I just want to know if I got.
Okay. Let us know if you are the winning bidder.
Yeah,
I know where to send the Christmas cards to. All right, I'm good. Thanks.
Craig.
Yes.
Just follow up feedback. Joe just answered me to talk with his SQE called Victor Perez. Okay, I'm gonna try to reach him and see and put him on board about this topic. Okay.
Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. Can you put his name in the chat so I'll have it?
Okay.
It's just. Yeah, we just want to get it understood as we go forward with this.
So Shirley is not an SQE anymore?
She is, but I guess she just doesn't have the fill pipes anymore.
Oh, okay.
According to her. That's what William and I are trying to understand. Because yesterday was supposed to be Michael Lee, and he doesn't have it. So
yeah, so yeah. I talked with the supervisor from SQEs, and he gave me this name.
Okay.
So I'm gonna try to reach him and talk with him, and probably Craig, I'm gonna set a call with myself, you, and also Victor. Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else online have any other things for this meeting before we let it go? If
no,
not, guys.
Not. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, and like I said, Hafiz, as soon as we can get that in, we can work to review it with our team here, so we can get our line in the sand completion done. So
sounds good.
Okay, thanks everybody.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Goodbye.
Do you think his popularity will go down to 30? So aside from the president saying, "I'm not leaving," is there any other image of the shambolic state of our democracy? Perhaps something that looks like what you might get if you fed the destruction of democracy into an AI meme generator? Oh, right, Elon Musk. Okay. The richest and most fertile man in the world went to Wisconsin, where he came out in a cheese hat before giving $1 million checks to voters in an effort to influence the Supreme Court race in Wisconsin. Hey, you know what that's about? You know what that's about, Elon? Their culture is not your costume, Musk. Their people. Do not appropriate their dairy chapeaus. You can really get a sense of the fraying of our democracy by tracing the arc of its symbolic headwear. It's still a tricorner, but it's not the same. Meanwhile, the process of streamlining our beautiful democracy continues apace. And a couple of months into Trump's second of his, let's say, 4 to 7 terms, he continues to live up to his vaunted apprentice catchphrase, "You're fired."
More than 1,300 workers now fired at the Department of Education.
The IRS beginning to lay off more than 6,000 employees.
The Social Security Administration will cut 7,000 jobs.
The U.S. Postal Service will trim its workforce by 10,000.
HHS will be dropping around 20,000 workers.
The Department of Veterans Affairs looking to cut 80,000 jobs.
In the administration's defense, those veterans shouldn't have been having affairs in the first place. That's on them. And by the way, do we need a department for that? The layoffs have been harsh, unpredictable, and needless to say, the mainstream media has been outraged.
So what's the end game here? Killing American jobs?
They're risking hurting those hardworking Americans. That bothers me.
You're playing with real people's money, real people's jobs, and real people's lives.
Rooting for Americans to lose jobs.
I'm sorry, that's empathy for Tesla workers. Apparently at Fox, those are the only hardworking Americans whose jobs matter. But the question is, with hundreds of thousands of civil servants being often haphazardly fired, is there any corner, no matter how small, of our current government that is safe from Musk's chainsaw of efficiency?
President Trump telling NBC News he has no plans to fire anyone following that controversial Signal group chat.
Yes! Veterans Affairs, Department of Education, USAID, you! Because all is right at the Department of Accidentally Texting War Stuff to Reporters. But fear not, regular civil service government parasites. Perhaps this incident offers an opportunity for you all to get the kind of job security that clearly doesn't come from the quality of your work, but the assiness of your kisses. So for instance, this Friday, when you, as a civil servant, have to send in your mandatory email to Doge listing the 5 things you did that week, you can keep your job by following the same strategies that these careless Snapchatters employed to keep their jobs. Number 1, don't write down, what did I do this week? You know, I took my federal car and went to Hooters and cried there for 7 hours. No. You want to save your job, point the same finger of blame that they did for their indiscretions.
It's important to remember why this powerful action took place in the first place. Because of Joe Biden's incompetence.
The complete opposite approach from the fecklessness of the Biden administration.
In contrast to Joe Biden,
Did something that the Biden administration did not do.
Did the job that Joe Biden wouldn't do.
We take out people that the Biden team never could.
Yet, what did you do this week at work? Number 1. I repaired the damage done by f***ing Joe Biden. How could I be f***ing up now at my job considering how bad Joe Biden f***ed up before? It's not possible. You need to be in your job to repair his damage. You were at the Hooters because Joe Biden wouldn't.